Hello, 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 and welcome to another live chat stream. I hope you guys are doing well on this fine weekend, and I hope you guys have a good rest of the weekend, as little as it might be left in it. But anyways, how I hope you guys are doing good. Um, anyways, I wanted to start this live chat. I haven't done a featured topic in live chat in a while, and I should start doing that for people who come back and watch this, so it isn't as boring as usual. So today I want to talk a little about anoxic filtration, and I just want to get your attention to it. I'm going to be doing a lot more cool videos about it, more in-depth videos about it. But basically, it's created by someone called Dr. Novak, and he has his own YouTube channel. And I have links down below on this article I'm going to show you guys, as well as his channel. So you should check it out. It's a new way of thinking about doing filtration. Well, it's an old way, but for us, it's kind of new. But let's take a look at this, and I'm going to get to the chat later in a bit and to your questions in a bit. But this Anoxic filtration basically set it up with these baskets, right? And in these baskets, you use like kitty litter, and in the middle you use laterite. But for our purposes, because laterite's so hard to get nowadays, we could actually start using fluorite. I believe is it fluorite? Yeah, fluorite, because it has iron in it. The most important thing is it has to have some kind of iron in it. Okay, because iron is what seeds the bacteria for the Anoxic filtration. So basically, you put the kitty litter around it, and in the middle you put the laterite, and it's called a biosynthesis basket. Ugh, I can't talk right now, but I want to. What you do is you put it in a sump, and I'm going to explain this way better in my later videos or whatever. You can watch his channel; he explains it. And what it does is, as the water flows through it, it should be a low flowing water. It's usually in a sump, some kind of sump or something. What happens is it starts stripping down the ammonia molecules, and then it becomes just a single nitrate molecule, and it floats into the air. Basically, if we go down here, there is an actual. Let's see here. And this is what it looks like in ponds. You mainly used for in ponds, but you'll see how it's all set up here. There's like, I don't know, about more than 20 baskets in here. Yeah, it's about 25 baskets in here. And when the water flows through it and starts sucking down and stripping down the ammonia molecules to a nitrate molecule, which floats out from the air. And the same concept works as a sump. Now, someone told me to check this out, like months, a year ago, or whatever. I started looking into it and stuff, and that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing, setting up my 120 Discus tank, as well as my angelfish tank. Right, my angelfish tank has a built-in filter in the back, but I'm gonna convert it, put bio biosynthesis baskets in there to run it as Anoxic filtration. And on my 120, I'm planning to put a overhead sump. I was gonna do under sump, but I didn't want to drill anything and all that. But I thought a really cool idea would be making an overhead sump, because that's not as common. That's not as hard to do as a underhead sump. But we look here, this is how it looks. This is the basket. All around is the kitty litter, and in the middle is the laterite. Right? So what happens is, while the water flows over the basket, the negative ions starts attracting the ammonia molecules. I believe, yeah, the negative charges in the kitty litter starts attracting the ammonia molecules. So the ammonia molecule starts moving into the basket here, and then in zone A, what it does is starts stripping some of the ammonia molecules and starts stripping it down. It takes away, I don't know, some kind of nitrate modules, and then it starts converting it into a lesser powerful ammonia molecule. And then in zone B, it strips away more of the molecules, and then until it gets into zone C, where it takes out pretty much everything but the nitrate molecule. Then the nitrate starts flowing out into the air or whatever from the sump. But this article here explains pretty much how it works. I'm not doing it justice right now. It's a live chat. I didn't plan much about this, about talking about, but that's the basic understanding of how it works. So basically, if you think about it, it's kind of like you're fighting against something. You have this power beam that's shooting into a guy with tons of armor, and it's slowly stripping away the armor until there's nothing left. Pretty much, that's basically how Anoxic Filtration works with a biosynthesis basket. So this is really interesting information. I'm going to get more into it because I'm going to start using this for probably, I don't know, maybe all my tanks. We'll see how it works. He also did if you check out Dr. Novak's channel, he also set up one in a canister filter. It's an ADA canister filter, but it's a little expensive. But I asked him if I could probably do the same thing with a sunset filter. He says it might work. It really depends on how it's set up. So based on that logic, I'm gonna try to do it with a sunset filter, assuming I don't go all sumps on my tanks later on, depending on how I set them up. But there you have it. That is the Anoxic Filtration. I just wanted to touch base on that, let you guys know, and it's out there. That you guys should look more into it. It's a pretty cool technique with filtering your tank. It's a setup, but it's easy to set up. Okay, so instead of laterite, which you're gonna have a hard time finding, you probably could go with fluorite, Seachem fluorite, because it has iron in it. I've also asked him about using Dr. Iron pellets that I use for tablets. He said it should work as long as it's a source of iron. So I might try that as well. The kitty litter is really easy. You go to Walmart, you get that special kitty litter that's not scented, and you should be good. Okay, so that is what the Anoxic Filtration is. You want to know more about it, links will be down below in the first comment as well. And before we go on, uh, you can support me by joining my channel membership. It's called Backstage Access, and where you can get a couple of other nifty stuff as well. Extra content, I guess. And I'm starting to build that up as I get more people joining. So hopefully more people will join. There's more to it. And second of all, join our Discord channel. If you ever have questions or anything, that is the best way to ask it. Ask there, because we have discussions going on about aquariums and non-aquarium stuff as well. So make sure you join the Discord channel and just keep your eye on it and join in any discussion that we might have. So anyway, so let's go on and jump on to chat here. Let me figure out how to do this, because I am going to have to. Can't read this. I'm going to do it here. There we go. So let's do some shout outs here to Damien. Mary's in the chat right now. How you doing? Anthony Fishy Friends, how you doing, buddy? George Correa. Hassan Dirt Road, how you doing, buddy? Fisherman64. Shelby Ray, how you doing? Haven't seen you in a while. John B, how are you doing? And Muppets929. Nice to see you guys on board today. Looks like a lot more people, 17 people that just haven't chatted. It's okay. Lurking's okay. It's just fine. Make sure you hit that like button. That's what I'm supposed to say, I guess. John B, I would check out the Fishman YouTube. He does. Yeah, I know Fishman. He's really cool. He does a lot of really cool stuff, and he's doing something on the Anoxic Filtration, I believe. But yeah, I know. I talked to him. He's I don't know. I guess he's a buddy of mine. We talk back and forth once in a while. So anyone have any questions or anything, go and shoot them in the chat. I'll answer them as best as I can. Hi Anonymous, how you doing? Welcome to the chat. And sorry, my allergies it's been bad lately, the allergies. Not sure what's up with that, but it's been windy here for a while. I know last week, so it's been kicking up a lot of stuff. It's driving me crazy. Other than that, I don't know. Yeah, I've been binging a lot of DC movies. I don't know why, but I have. I've been doing. I watched all the the Nolan Batman trilogies yesterday. It was probably, in my opinion, the best Batman movies out there. I had fun with that yesterday, and then I should be doing videos, I know, but I am doing them. I'm just slowly getting back into there. I have to change the set around. I think that's what pushing me out, because I want to record that as well for the backstage members. Just to see how the new set looks and stuff. But I just been lazy because I have to move all the stuff around. I set up shelves and a new table and stuff. How you doing? Free to play? Welcome. LG, welcome. And I think before I started chat, I was on Superman versus Batman. Actually, I did Superman Returns, which it was all right. I found that boring. I always found that boring. Man of Steel was good. I just didn't like it because, well, it wasn't really Superman like, really, right? They're fighting in the city. Superman in the comics would have just like lured the fight away from the city because there was people in it. He didn't do that. He goes all out. This huge fight in the middle of the cities, and stuff like that, without a care in the world for all the people around him, which is totally out of character for Superman if you read his comics. So it's not really like that. But anyways, yeah, I like that movie. I just didn't like the way they portrayed Superman all that much. So, but yeah, I'm on Batman versus Superman, which is silly, but I like it because Gal Gadot is in it. Because Wonder Woman's in it. Can't get enough of Wonder Woman. John B, have you tried using window screen over dirt, capping it with gravel? I have been testing it and good results. No, I haven't. There's no reason for me to do that. There's no reason for it. You can if you want, as long as it doesn't interrupt the roots from getting to the soil. So you still be fine with using a screen. Excuse me. I just don't know what the purpose of doing so is. Aqua Balls, how you doing, buddy? Uncle Ball, my man, the barbecue man, he makes a damn good barbecue. That's for sure. Free to play, I would start like free to play. I would like to start making my own fertilizer soon, as I've been going through bottles of pre-made stuff. Okay, what's a good place to start looking for bulk dried ingredients? Okay, free to play. Good for you to ask that because that is actually going to be an upcoming series of mine. But what I would suggest is on Nilcog. Well, is it nilcog.com is where I usually buy all my stuff. You can also try Greenleaf Aquarium, but Nilcog G. Go to fertilizers. You go to dry for aquarium fertilizer. They have packages there. Just pop that open, and then depending on what you're going for, and what you need, it's all here. Buy it in packs and stuff. One thing I do like about Greenleaf Aquariums is that they do sell it with a little more expensive. They do sell it in containers, in jars. That's what I like about their stuff. They sell it in these jars right here, which is kind of cool. It's nice and nifty, but you don't need it. You just buy it in packages, but they sell in packages as well, packs like this. So yeah, either Clug G or Greenleaf Aquariums is a good place to buy your aquarium ferts. That's what I would suggest. These guys know what they're doing. See what else we have here. Days Aquarium Thoughts. How you doing, buddy? Days friend, I actually turned an Eheim 600 canister filter into BCP using fluorite and safe to absorb with substrate in the tank. I have aqua soil topped with safe T absorb. Nice. It's great. Yeah, the Eheim 600 canister will work as a BCP filter as well. BCP is the Bionosis. I forgot what it stands for, but it's basically Anoxic Filtration. Do it with the canister, but I'm looking to do it with the cheaper canister, so like a Sun. So I want to try that. On me, you can move plants without the mess. Oh yeah, you could. Personally, the mess doesn't bother me. It's easy to clean up. Hippie Buddha's 86. How you doing? I've been fine. Let's see what's up. Aquaballs, you coming again? Having a barbecue on the 27th? Yeah. Send me an invite. Let me know, just so that I remember that there is one on the 27th. Otherwise, I'll forget. So, like, let me know on the Facebook or whatever. Anonymous, I have a question about dirty tanks with the sand cap, with gas pockets, and whether or not you should be worried about them. Also, notice the algae in the sand cap that doesn't. It doesn't worry me. It looks natural. The algae, don't worry about it. It'll go away. Um, If you can mix up the sand around the algae, and the algae will disappear on you. It happens. For the gas pockets, what I do is it's really not a big deal as long as you empty them, right? When I first set up an aquarium that has gas pockets in there, I poke it with a chopstick or something like a long, like plastic pencil or whatever. You just poke it out and let it go. Just make sure no fish is around when you do that, right? Just make sure they're on the side of the tank with it. They'll probably swim away because you put your hand in it. But just get rid of the gas pockets as much as you can during water changes. It should be fine. Well, it's good to hear Jay's friend. So he's talking about his Eheim BCB filter that he converted. The tank's been up for 1.5 months. Shut up. The tank has been running up for 1.5 months and algae free. Some rocks are finally starting to turn green, but that's normal. So far, I'm happy with the way it's working. Good. I'm good. Burnt popcorn, how you doing? Welcome to the chat. Will rabbit snails help when gas pockets are inverted? And said, not really. They don't dig that far. So, well, you'll have to do it manually by hand. It'll go away after a while if you do enough. But rabbit snails or any snails, in fact, won't bury that they don't go that deep. They shouldn't. That'd be bad if they did. They'll mix with the cap on top, but to get rid of any gas pockets and stuff, you have to do by hand. Rabbit snails. Yeah, those guys won't bury that deep. Fallen Perez, welcome to chat. Hi, hope everyone's doing well. My Amazon sword leaves are turning translucent with holes. Is it because of lack of nutrients? Most likely, yeah. That or your water's too hard, but it's most likely lack of nutrient. Have you been dosing? You need to dose your tank, right? I mean, a lot of people go, "Oh, I just let my fish poop or whatever." Do it. That it doesn't work that way. There's other nutrients that plants need other than from fish poop. So yeah, it could be lack of nutrients. It's most likely lack of nutrients. But since I don't know the stat or spec of your tank, I don't know. I can't really say. But most likely is lack of nutrients, or if you just planted them, what happens is they'll die back and grow again because you've got them from a place where they grow and burst. So that could be what's happening there too. But that happens as well if you get new plants, especially Amazon swords, that are converting itself from growing immersed to submersive. So there's that as well. So what else you guys been doing? Let me know. Post down below so we have something to talk about, because sometimes I suck at starting conversations. And in this chat, when I'm sitting here talking a lot, my voice starts going. So on Perez, I dose with Easy Green and Root Tab Troy. Okay, did you just plant your plants? Is that new Amazon sword you got? What kind of substrate are you using? That's the other thing. Easy Green is an all-one. It should usually take care of a lot of nutrient deficiencies, but you know, again, there's a lot of variables to why your plants are growing. One of the biggest things with Amazon swords that turn translucent or dies or whatever is because it's converting from growing immersed to submersed, and that happens a lot with Amazon swords because it's easy to grow Amazon swords above water. They send it to you, and then you plant it underwater. It's going to take time for them to die off and grow back again. As long as the roots are healthy, it'll grow back. Burnt popcorn. Every Anubius I have dies fast. Every other plant I kept is fine. My water is hard. Could this be a reason? Could be. Are you dosing your water column? Anubius needs nutrients for the water column. So if you're not dosing your water column, it could be a problem. Hardness could be a problem because it just makes it harder for the plants to take in nutrients. So I don't know how hard is hard though. So Pollen, organic soil in the center, capped with gravel. You shouldn't be having a problem. If you just got your Amazon swords, again, if you just bought them, then you're going to have the die back and grow back thing. And that's natural. I'm assuming that's probably what it is then, because you got more than enough nutrients in the water column and in the substrate if you're using organic soil. How hard is your water? That's the other thing. John B, have you tried Insta CO2 reactors? I had one, yeah. It works, I guess. It's cheap, but it works. I mean, it's cheaply made, but it works. The one I have is the one with the spinning propeller. It's a long reactor used for externally, going in from the filter. Problem is the first tank I put it on didn't have strong enough filter, so it didn't work all that well. So I had to save that reactor for a stronger filter. Antonio Mix or MX, what do you think about a Fluval 3.0 for a high-tech tank? Great, works great. I use Fluval 2.0s. I have 2 of them on a 40-gallon because of the width from back to front. So I need 2 ships to cover the entire length of the entire width of the tank. But 3.0 works great for a high-tech tank. Depends on high. It depends on high. Damn it. It depends on how high your tank is. But usually it should be more than enough. If your tank is about 24 meters, 24 meters, 24 inches high, you should be more than enough for 3.0, Fluval 3.0. And depending on how big your tank is from front to back, you might need 2 strips. You gotta remember, coverage is one thing that you need to worry about in a tank, applying the tank, not just the type of lighting. Andrew Alexander, I have 2 EIM canister filters, daisy chain with one another, pumping water. Okay. How you doing that? You think the second one on the chain will be Anoxic as long as it's not touched? That doesn't make any sense. I'm not sure why it would be Anoxic. I'm not sure what you're asking. And I'm not sure why you're daisy chaining them. I just run 2 of them at separate. Have the intake on either side of the tank instead of daisy chaining them. Is there any reason you're daisy chaining them? Is like one canister just filled with sponges and the second canister is filled with biofiltration? Is that how you're doing? Or are you just running 2 EIM canisters daisy chain? That's a waste of energy, honestly. I just run them both as 2 separate 2 separate canister filters on one tank. And just have the intake and outtake on either side of the tank. I'm not sure how big your tank is, but yeah, that's what I would do. But daisy chaining on on any canister filter with just a regular setup makes no sense. And I'm not sure why it'd be anoxic as it's not been touched. Water's going to run through it. It's not going to get anoxic. That's not how canister filters work. Yeah, I'm not sure then what's wrong with your Nubius. It might be hard water. If you have hard water, that could be one of the things. Try softening your water a little. Piguez, welcome. How you doing? Devil's Beats, hi there. Best plans for warm Discus tank. Nothing delicate. My Discus tank that I'm setting up is going to only have Java ferns in it, and Anubias, and maybe some Poos in it. But that's all I'm going to do with that because I have to keep the tank warm. I'm going to keep it as low as possible at 78 degrees. But that's warm enough to mess with a lot of plants. To make it easy on myself, I'm just going to deal with Java ferns, Anubias, and Pooses. Easier to grow. Pump it with CO2. Tips on growing Rotella indica sponsai. First time I planted it melted. I don't know why it melted. It's a really easy plant to grow. I don't know your setup, so I can't really tell you why it melted. It could be just bad luck. right? So I don't know. You don't have any specs on your tank. I don't know. Can't say why it melted. The only tips is just grow. Rotella indica, I never had problems growing indica. I just planted it and it grew. Right? Even in low light tanks, it did fine. So I'm not sure what it is. Is it too warm? Is your tank too warm? Is your water too hard? I don't know. So your hardness is 100 out of the tap. I don't know. 100 what? ppms? What's the actual reading on the strips? Milligrams per liter, or are you talking about ppms? I'm up at 929, so I take it I should get some easy green for dwarf water lettuce. You should get an all-in-one fertilizer if you have a planted tank, regardless. Period. I don't know why people are so stingent on not getting nutrients for the plants. You got to feed them. Okay. So yeah, I always suggest an all-in-one. Easy green will work. Yes. Anthony Fishing Friend, yeah, makes a good point about daisy chaining two power filters. It makes no sense. Under you're underpowering the two power filters that way, right? The way that would make sense is if you just take one filter and put all sponges in it to make it your mechanical filtration, and your second filter handle all the biological filtration, right? So I mean, I do that with my sons. I have a small sun that's a uh, sponge filter or sponge. Yeah, it's a sponge filter. All it is sponges. It's a mechanical filtration that feeds into the power filter. That's all biological filtration, right? And that's one way to do it. But doing two setups on a power filter like that doesn't make any sense because you have two filters pulling, two filter motors pulling at each other, so it just weakens it. It's not going to do that, Andrew. Alexander. All the oxygen gets used up first canister with sponges, and then the second filter has all biometer. Only the second filter is plugged and running. It still wouldn't be anoxic. Still pulling water through a moving current. You're still going to pull oxygen through it. It's not going to take away any. It's not going to take oxygen away that way. You're moving oxygen to the water. 100 ppm hardness. Oh, yeah, okay. It might be a little hard. You might want to soften your water a little, burnt popcorn. Maybe that'll help the plants that you're trying to grow. Okay, well that makes sense, Andrew. The first one that impellers you just pulling through. Okay, that's fine. That's usually what I do too. That works, but it doesn't make the second one anoxic though. I get where you're going with it, but it just doesn't work that way. Could be like right in the middle of all the bio. I just don't know how you have it all set up. Is it set up by layers on racks in your second filter where the biometer is at? Yeah, it's one of those things. It's hard to answer questions when you don't know everything about how they have it set up. So it's one of the hardest things to do is answering questions when you don't have all the details. You can only guess at it, fortunately. But usually it adds up after a while because, like, you have a problem, you start asking me questions about it. I'm trying to get down and drill it down, but hopefully by drilling it down, you'll learn. You'll learn it in the long run. What happens? Now, hard water shouldn't kill it, but hard water doesn't help. And you're right, Anubias sometimes just does rot, and plants sometimes just does rot. It's really weird, but it just does. Ricky Bell, hey dude, only got gravel in my tank. Never clean the gravel. Don't do water changes. Okay. Don't use root tabs. Oh, uses root tabs. milliliters of FERT per week, and my plants are grand. No CO2. T8 white bulbs. Okay. 180 liter tank. I don't know what 180 liters is. Pardon my barbarianism of being American because we don't do the metric system. 20 gallons. Nice. Great. Low light tank. Low light. Not so much trouble tank. Going old school, it sounds like, too. Greenland Maxi Jet 400 good for my 40-gallon long. Lots of algae building up in my moss. Well, that could be dealing with a lot of things. Maxi Jet, sure, it's fine. It'll move water around your tank, but your algae could also be coming with too much light. You know, so that's that problem too. Hey, Jade, hope all is well in the Philippines. Brian Kalamoa, I'm not going to pronounce your last name, but Brian, welcome to the chat. What's your favorite plant you've gotten to flower? Personally, I love my crypts when they flower. I like my dwarf lilies. Tiger lilies, when they flower, are really cool. And they're really easy to flower because they grow right up to the water line and boop, just pop. But they're really pretty. Jacob, Helm, when dosing macros independently, it would be possible to overdose potassium. I heard about nitrogen and phosphorus leading to issues. Nitrogen and phosphorus will lead to issues if you overdose or you dose too much, because that's what causes algae outbreaks. Okay, potassium not so much. I just worry about your livestock, but you can go easy on potassium. You don't have to go overboard on potassium either. So it's not a huge nutrient that you have to worry too much about. But when it comes to nutrients, it's better to just do it underdose it a little than more overdosing, especially when it comes to nitrogen or phosphorus. But usually potassium, you shouldn't have no problem with it. Just don't overdose too much on it. You should be fine. Yeah, nah, Dwarf Sag, I'll pass on Dwarf Sag. I hate that stuff. Dwarf Sag is a pain in my behind. Which, by the way, that tank is awful again. There's so much algae in it. I look at it, I'm like, whatever. Clean up later. That later never comes. I get so lazy. Usually when I get back into it, it like gets all my tanks, or that tank will get pristine, and then set up my other tanks. I gotta get back into it. It's been so lazy about doing aquariums lately. Not as cool, but I'll get into it. Just gotta get my butt up, working on it. But there's so much going on in life right now. It's just hard to jump back into the horse. Jump back into the horse. Jump back on the horse. Get pedaling. Yeah. Anyways, so do we have any more questions? Yeah, I did end up getting all the dwarf sag out of it. They were all gone. None left. At least the ones I could see. But yeah, they were all gone. There was none in the tank at all. It took forever to pull it all out. But once I saw one little stem grow, boom, it was out of there. Stupid dwarf sag. This is just regular dwarf sag. The tiny ones, it's not a big deal. It's just the grassy ones. But regular dwarf sag, I have a problem with it. If I pump CO2 in that tank, the stuff grows out of control. Hey, Ricky Belwell, thank you very much. I hope I did answer your questions. Shendy Leon, welcome to the chat. You're welcome for the videos. I'm glad you enjoyed them. Hope they helped you. Brian, have you ever used corkscrew valve used as a copper plant? No, you could. I just wouldn't. I don't because I consider that a waste. Corkscrew valve is so pretty, letting it grow all on its own in the background. It's not just don't touch it. Just let it grow. It's just gorgeous. So I just don't see myself trimming it down as a carpet plant. And it's so thick. Blades are thick. It wouldn't look too well as a carpet plant, in my opinion. Unless you're doing a really huge tank. John B, what do you recommend for the GPH to run the CO2 reactor? It's the CO2 reactor. It depends. Which one did you get? You have to read the box. I don't know what their required or recommended GPH is for the CO2 reactor, depending on the size. There's different sizes of the Insta CO2 reactor. So just read the. You have to read the box, buddy. You read the instruction booklets, right? Ricky Bell, do you have mud skippers? They're so cool. No, I don't have mud skippers. I know Aquaballs have mud skippers. They are cool, but yeah, you can check out our Facebook. You can join there, but I don't talk much there anymore. It's all Discord lately. So I would suggest going to Discord, join there, and ask questions when I'm not doing these live chats. Or if you have any questions or want to need help, or just want to just kick it and talk, you can do it in the Discord server, right? And let me post that link. It's somewhere here. Where is it? Yeah, you can join the Facebook group too. We're there too. There's a lot of people there that help you, whatever. Discord is there. And if you want to support me, click that join button. See if get some extra stuff as a member. Do you have any recommendation on a RO DIY unit for city tap water that has unusually high DTS? 1600 hot, 700 cold. NGB would be I can't answer that. I wouldn't know. I check RODI units on Amazon and I just look over that. I'd ask someone else if there's a difference between such a high TDS in your water, which I don't think it is. But I'd get a complete RODI unit, probably all stages. That would be 4 stages, 5 stages. I think it's 5 stages. Get a 5-stage RODI unit, just to be sure. How do you get rid of Cytobacteria? Always a blackout 2 to 4 days. Vacuum and treat white with hydrogen peroxide. Second per liter, and it disappears, but always come back. All right, it's coming back because whatever's causing the problem is still there. So you have to figure it out. It's most likely check lighting if it's too intense or not. Make sure you check that there's flow in your tank. That's where Cyanobacteria usually happens because there's not enough flow in your tank. But that's how I get rid of it. Blackouts. I did a blackout for 3 days, got rid of it, no problem. There's also this product called Clean. I don't know. I did a video on it already. I'm not sure what it was, Antonio. But if you search my videos, search blue-green algae, and it should pop up. You'll know what product that I recommend for that. But usually blacking out is what does it for me. If it keeps coming back, then your problem that causes it is still there. So make sure you have flow in your tank. Make sure your light's not extremely high. Make sure nothing's leaching silicone in your tank. Right? So if you're using something that has silicone in it, like sand or something, that could be, is it silicone? Silicon. That could be a problem that's causing your cyanobacteria. Bird popcorn, any pro tips for cherry shrimp? It's cherry shrimp. It's pretty easy to take care of. I don't really have pro tips with cherry shrimps. I'm not much of a shrimp person. Well, I like them. I just haven't done enough of them to be an expert at them or give pro tips for it. I would have to just direct you over to Flip Aquatics for questions about shrimp. Shindy Leon, thoughts on my 12-gallon long with 6 $40? I think I'm okay amount stock in the tank. Got a Delta 60 canister filter in there. Yeah, with $6 on a 12-gallon long, you're fine. I usually over filter my tanks so that I can have higher stock value. But that sounds fine. What eats hard spot algae? I had a high-tech tank that would get the glass covered with spot algae every weekend. Get tired of scraping them. Plecos do. If you need, oops. Plecos do. What else? The little one. Ah, autocycluses, I believe, do as well. Snails will eat or clean up hard spot algae as well. Otherwise, try to keep your tank more balanced so less of it comes around. You might adjust your lighting a little. Silica, thank you, Brian. Silica is what I was trying to say. Silica is a leading factor in Cytobacteria. PR 0790. Some people assert that the biosynthesis basket is total BS snake oil. From what I've seen, it works. I'll know more once I put it on my tanks and try it. It's not gonna break anything. Science makes sense. So, but yeah. But a lot of people like me think that Excel is snake oil. Oh, go figure. Rabizio. I watched his videos, but I almost fell asleep. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, which video? My videos? My videos are usually loud. Because I had to make sure that the audio is good, so. Millstream loaches are good bet too. Oh, thank you, Pastor Dirt Road. He posted the link to the blue-green algae video. Shandy Lee, I'll probably stay here for right now. Always wanted to add more, but not want to settle up for failure. The filter is rated for almost 30 gallons. Want to add more shrimp in there. You can add more shrimp. Shrimp barely does a bio load. Yeah, it takes a tax on your bio load. Shrimp is fine. You can have hundreds of them, then you still be fine in that tank. I wouldn't put hundreds in them. I mean, you can if you wanted. But that's a lot of shrimp for a 20-gallon long. Oh no, it's not. It's actually pretty cool. I would put shrimp in there. Use 6 $40. Put shrimp in there. I put Neo fishes in there as well. Smaller fish is fine. They say the science don't make sense. I don't know who they is. Who's they? Oh, the Anoxic Filtration guy? Oh, Dr. Novak's videos? It's alright, yeah. I had to turn up on some videos too. Yeah, I mean, I want to experiment on my own as well, so we'll see. I'm going to put it on a 120-gallon Discus tank and my 60-gallon angelfish tank, so I'll be doing that on those tanks, see how well it works. It's not a big deal for me. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I tear it down, say goodbye to the losses of the fish and tanks, and restart over again. See, that doesn't bother me. All right, if a tank fails, it doesn't scare me. I've done it so many times that it doesn't faze me because I know once I fail, I figure out what failed. And that's how I figure out all this stuff. Jake H had luck with, I can't even pronounce this. Erythromycin to knock out Cytobacteria. Chemiclean. That's the stuff I was using too. Oh yeah, that is Chemiclean. Ricky Bell, ref DIY CO2. Regarding, you're referencing DIY CO2. Make mead, honey wine, it's honey water, yeast. Free CO2 for a month and free tasty alcohol beverage. Win-win. Haha. Cute. John B. He does have that voice that would put you to sleep. I don't know. I'm more interested in what he's talking about than about his voice. It's alright. Yeah, I'm going to pass it along. I'm going to try it myself. If it works well, I'll have videos explaining his techniques and stuff. And how it worked for me as well. If it worked for me. But I don't see any problem with it. I don't know why people say the science doesn't work. To me, when I'm reading it and looking into it, the science does work. But we'll see. I have to see. I won't know until I actually try it. Hey, Mary. Oh, so you've been lurking. Oh, hi to you too, Miss Lurker. Yeah, you can't put links in the chat. That's turned off. Too much spammers that pop in when I do live chats. No, I don't know where Pudgy's been. I haven't seen her in a long time. I don't know where the rest of the mods are. You know, I haven't been doing live streams in a while, so no one knows I do them. Uh, you can post it once this video is over. Post it in the comments. It'll still block it, but I'll see it. I'll go look at it. What does green hair algae eat? I have to say I have some problems, and my guess is too much light. But any advice would be helpful. It's probably too much light. Green algae eats an excess nutrients. Do you have too much phosphates, nitrates in your tank? Too much ammonia? Are you overfeeding your fish too much? This is the hardest thing about algae. It's so hard to explain, but if I look at something and figure out what I'm doing to it, then I'll know how to fix it. The most likely could be lighting or excess nutrients. I don't know how else you can fix it other than, are you running CO2? If you are, run CO2. Keep your tank balanced. If you want to cheat, Ghost Excel. That'll kill algae, but it doesn't always work. And that's the only thing that it's good for. But most likely, I just lower down the lights. You could always lower down the lights and have a longer photo period, right? If you're currently running your lights at 8 hours at what you're currently at now, I lower the intensity and I run it at 10 hours. Does it make sense? So that also helps too. Brian, any suggestions on good inline reactors? I want to move away from the in-tank diffuser. Inline reactors you talking about inline? Are you talking about inline reactors or inline? Hold on. Let me go here. I want to show you what I use. So inline bubbler. Let's call it bubbler for right now because I can't freaking read the diffuser. Inline diffuser versus inline reactor. They're two different things. I use a lot of inline diffusers. They look kind of like, where is it? This. So what happens is it comes in from here, from your filter, and then out to your tank out here. And you hook up your CO2 line here, and what it does is it misses the CO2 into the line itself. I use that a lot. It works great. These are inline in-tank diffusers. But if you're talking about a reactor, that's a whole different ball game. Reactor are usually big. Let's see. This would be an inline reactor right here, or any of these two that you see here, right? And this sits outside of the line. It still flows through the line, but the way it's injected is a little bit different. But these are big and bulky. The one that goes inline diffuser is like your in-tank diffuser, except that it diffuses into the hose. So it gets spit out into your tank and moves all over the tank based on the flow of your filter. So either way will work, depending on which one. The easier and more sleek would be to get that inline diffuser that I'm talking about. But what works really well are inline diffusers that I showed you the second time around. And you can find both of those on Greenleaf Aquariums. or Nilcog's website as well. And there's very options of it. And if you want to look it up in YouTube, you can make your own. Miss Sock, Simon, how you doing? Welcome to the chat. Miss Sock, Satch, I hope I'm pronouncing this right. I currently have a 40-gallon breeder with pressurized CO2. I have lily pipes on one side and a diffuser on the other. Okay. How can I make sure that CO2 is reaching the corner of my tank? Make sure you have the flow. I don't know how your flow looks like or how much of a flow are you pushing out to your tank, but I would make sure it's a 40-gallon breeder. I don't know what kind of filter you have, how much GPH is pushing. It's going to create a vortex with your lily pipe on the top of the tank, which will create and improve on your gas exchange on the top of your tank, which is good. I would probably put a pump, if you need it, on the side where your diffuser's at. Right? And then push the water through the diffuser and push some of the bubbles out towards your tank. That's what I did with my 40-gallon breeder. Lawrence Kibler, I have 2 tanks with Novax plenums. Nice. One a marine land portable tank with crystal shrimp, and the second 10-gallon guppy tank. Cool. Plenums look great. Indoor fishing inside. Indoor fishing inside. How you doing? That's a trippy name right there. Double entendre. No. Double negative? Not double entendre, double negative. So you're outdoor fishing guy. Got it. So anyways, I want to go ahead and field any more questions for the next minute or so, see if there anything else comes in, and then I'm going to go and make some dinner. It's about that dinner time. There we go. Miss Hawk, do you think an inline diffuser is better than an in-tank diffuser to make more CO2 coverage? Yes. I find that inline diffuser works way better than in-tank diffuser. Mainly because when I use inline diffusers, the output of the filter helps distribute the CO2 better. It also helps the bubbles from the diffuser diffuse into the water before it even gets diffused out of the tank top. Where the air is and stuff. So Fabrizio is good. Gas exchange good. Yes. Should I lower it so CO2 stays inside the tank? No. All right. I'll explain again. I've said this a billion times, but it's really hard to understand for a lot of people, and then people also argue it. All right. CO2 levels and O2 levels in your tank are independent of each other. If you have more O2, doesn't mean that you have less CO2. If you have more CO2, doesn't mean you have less O2. All right. But what does matter is if you have more O2 in your tank, you have more CO2 in your tank. All right. If you push too much CO2 in your tank without the gas exchange working and getting the O2 level at the same time, you gas your fish. Okay. As long as you have that gas exchange going and you leave enough room for both O2 and CO2, then you can pump as much CO2 as you can in your tank without killing anything. This is why you need gas exchange. Sure, you'll lose CO2, but you also lose that. But that's natural. What you're trying to do is pump as much CO2 into your water, and then it'll force CO2 out of the tank anyways, regardless if you gas exchange or not. But then now you're risking killing your fish and stuff. So you want gas exchange. You want the O2 and CO2 level to match each other equally. It's an equilibrium, right? If you get more O2, you get to have more CO2. That's the main thing to remember. If you have less CO2, you don't want more CO2 forced in your tank, or you kill your fishes. If you're forcing too much O2 in your tank, which is hard to do, okay, because CO2 diffuses 10 times faster than O2 in your tank, okay? But let's say you do have more oxygen in your tank, that CO2 is still being used by your plants regardless. Okay? If you have more, your plant's going to like it, of course. But then if you have too much, you're going to overflow it and kill your fish. All right? The whole point is keep it balanced. There's an equilibrium. Okay, big deal if you lose some CO2 injection. Do you really want to take that chance? Come on. And honestly, people pissing on about $1 or $2 of lost CO2 exchange over 6 months is really stupid, in my opinion. So, yeah, get the gas exchange going so that you can have more CO2. What's for dinner? I don't know. Probably cauliflower, rice, chicken. My usual. It's easy and quick to prepare. Inline versus reactor. What's your opinion? Reactor will always diffuse much better than an inline diffuser. Inline diffuser will always diffuse much better than an in-tank diffuser. Lord Skibbler, Brightwell sells laterite that's readily available from River or Flip Aquatics. Yeah, I saw that, but I thought it was powder. That was the only thing I had a problem with. I thought it was a powder. I think it would just float away if I put powder in there. But I saw that Brightwell does have laterite, but it looked like it was powder. But I'll check again. I'll ask Rob, since he's selling the stuff. So Solidus 1833. I've used your CO2 guide, but I have a question. According to my KH, I did drop from 7.5 to around 6870. I dialed this in, yet my CO2 dial is still blue. Okay, forget about your CO2 dial. Did you test it with just the simple pH test? A pH reading before the lights come on, and then pH reading while the lights are on, while your plant's in photosynthesis. Do that, all right? Those stupid dials, CO2 dials that do the color thing, it's not always accurate. First of all, if your fluid is bad, it's not going to give you the accurate result. Second, it gives you results 2 hours ago, right? So what may be yellow was 2 hours yellow ago. 2 hours that was yellow, right, in your tank. So there's a delayed reading on that. So the best way to make sure that it really happens and it works is to just to measure pH before the lights come on and during the lights when the lights are on and the plants are in photosynthesis and doing its thing. So Lawrence, they also sell bags of pieces. Well, I'll check it out then. Be interesting. I don't know. I'll just email Rob, ask him. Bricks aren't bricks made from laterite? I don't know. I'm not a brick guy. Yeah, if your pH is dropping, then you're fine. Then you're getting that drop, and it's caused by CO2s, right? So you're getting a drop, it should be fine. Your CO2 down, I think you might want to change your liquid in it. Make your do-it-self liquid that I have on the video on about how to do that. But it might be your liquid that's just bad. Because the liquid that those CO2 droppers come with, a lot of times I find them to be bad. They're expired or they just don't work. So I always mix my own. So, and it works better that way. But again, it also depends on which brand you get and stuff. That's why I don't trust them all that much. The best CO2 indicator is testing your pH or by your eye. By your eye, you learn that through experience. But after a while, once you get it down, you'll figure it out. For now, the best, most accurate way is to measure your pH before during lights on and off. Okay? Do that. Don't rely too much on those CO2 droppers right now. Those are indicators. I have them, but they're just indicators for a quick look. Right? Because if it's yellow, and I look and it's yellow, I'm going to go and test my pH. That's how I do it. That's just an indicator for me. It's just a spot checker for me. Yeah, then you're fine. Your CO2 injection is working fine. The lights out is 7.5, and then during the highest light cycle, the pH is around 7 to 6, 8. It's a decent drop. It's a good drop. You got your CO2 should be working. Your plant, you should be seeing a difference in your plants. They should be growing pretty well. So in that case, I just mix my own CO2 liquid, CO2 dropper liquid then, or buy. I wouldn't buy it; it's a waste of money. I just mix my own. Just do that. If you already have the test kit, the C master test, the master test kit for pH, then you have your drop liquid there. Just mix some 4 DHK water and use that, and then use a couple of drops of that, and you're good. No problem, man. The guide to the mixing your own. I don't know if you know about that one yet. Um, 2-drop checker or DHK. Yep, pops right up. So that's the video to how I teach you how to mix your own. Johnny, I've been talking trimmings of Lymphomelia flora on my CO2 high-tech tank. When I plant them in my dirt low-tech tank, they melt. Is that normal? It could be. Here's the problem: you have it in an environment where it's getting high CO2, high highlighting everything, and then suddenly put into a um, less highlight, no CO2 tank, it most likely will die on you because it's adjusted to such big changes, right? Uh, if you want to do that, I don't know exactly how you would do that. I would step it down by tanks. That's how I do it. But I rarely move plants like that from a high tech to a low tech uh tank like that. Definitely, you should be fine with low tech, but it's not gonna grow all that well. All right, talk to you later, Anthony Fishy friends. Hey, Daniel Fish Keeping or Daniel Keeping Fish. How you doing, buddy? Fabrizio, how do you make a do-it-yourself aquarium pad? What do you mean aquarium pad? I don't know what you mean by aquarium pad. Solidus pressurized system with solenoid and timer on at 5 a.m. 1 hour light and offer of 1400. Yeah, sounds fine. But you just don't have luck with them. I never have luck with my Kabamba. Simplest plant out there. I never have luck with them. I have luck in. I never had luck in that 20-gallon long, and it would never grow. It grew way too slow. But then I put it in my 40-gallon breeder, and it grew like weeds. So I don't know why some plants grow well and some plants don't. It is so very weird when that happens. Is S. repens a low tech plant? You can. It just doesn't look as good in low tech, but it'll still grow. It'll grow stringy though, but it grows great in a high tech plant. High tech tech. Yeah, John B. I don't know what to say. Some plants just does weird things, especially if you switch the environment on them, where they come from a high energy environment to a low energy environment. Uh, they'll usually not do well. Aquarium mat. Oh, I don't know. Sometimes I use do-it-yourself mats, and they're usually uh mats that you get from rubber stores. They're like stores or factories that does rubbers. You get a thin, stuff that you use for mouse pads. That's a good way to do it. Or use the stuff you could buy a cheap what do you call it? Workout pad. Is that what they call it? It's for working out or calisthenics, aerobics or whatever. Do that. You use that. That's cheap. But yeah, you can just do that's the easiest way to go about it. All right, no problem, Daniel. Take care. Have a good one. I'm assuming he means mat for the aquarium. So yeah. Anyways, anyway, guys, it's been fun. It's been great. I am actually, yeah, yoga mats. That's what I was gonna say. Yoga mats. Jessica, how you doing? Yoga mats work really well, and it's usually pretty cheap. Yeah. So, anyways, I am going to sign off, guys. I am actually starving. I hope you guys have the rest of a wonderful weekend, and I will hope to see you guys soon. And sooner or later, I'll get through those videos. I promise. Anyways, well, talk to you guys later. Have a good one, and remember, hit that join button. See what there is to offer if you want to support the channel, and also join the Discord server. Let's chat there. Talk to you guys later. Bye.